Good evening, this is Joanne, and this is my video for phase 2 of D157, managing resources in the era of disruption. So this video will talk about the pro forma operating budget and the healthcare improvement project charter. This part of the task was a bit of a challenge for me because it was kind of difficult to gather information regarding finances and budgets, so I had to consult several people. When the items were identified and the costs were determined, the pro forma operating budgets was actually an easier fix than I expected. So since my healthcare improvement project aims to reduce preventable hospital readmissions within 30 days post-discharge, part of the proposal is to add manpower to tackle the job. There is already an existing service line, but the implementation of the project will need an additional follow-up program coordinator to cover all the discharged population from our facility. So this staff addition entails a new office, new equipment, furniture, and all that stuff. So although this is a one-time expense that is necessary for the project startup. As for the project charter, creating it was easier because most of the contents were already in the previous tasks, which only needed to be organized as per this requirement, like the Smart plus C goal. So it was already in place. I just had to relocate it, or in other words, copy paste. So I used the Gantt method for the milestones, which helped with timelines and percentages of completion, and also dependencies of each task to another were identified, whereby the beginning of one task depends on the completion of a previous task. The risks identified, they were already predetermined during the brainstorming session with the stakeholders, but there were some issues that were overlooked but were promptly addressed. Some examples of the significant risks were scope, where the goal has been revised twice to adjust and accommodate the current issues that we identified during the literature review and whatever applied to our facility, and also based on evidence-based practices that were current. Cost risk is also the biggest concern that we anticipated, although any project, as we know, would incur expenses, but with the feasibility study, the organization is, I would say, the feasibility of the project proposal, the organization is willing to investigate and study it further. Time and resource risks were other factors that we looked at, and because of the current social restrictions due to COVID, scheduling of meetings with the stakeholders was a challenge. So at one point I had to talk to them one at a time or two at a time, but never all at one time. So deadlines were missed. It was the process was slow, but regardless, we were able to complete tasks or deliverables So we had to move some dates or schedules in order to accommodate the delays. Technology risk was another factor that another problem that we looked at, because we had to update our current system, including the questions and the format that we need to use to conduct follow-up calls. So that is my results, or what I did for this task. Thank you for watching.